Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hijab Upworkwali, and today's we have the very honorable and grateful guest whose name is Ma'am DB. So let's go and about herself and know her life journey. So hello ma'am, how are you?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for doing this interview.
Okay ma'am. Also I want to thank you to comment my show and give me your valuable time.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so before moving on the question, please introduce yourself. Ma'am, please introduce yourself.
Thank you. Well, I'm Debbie Langley, and I am a business and profit coach. I have been coaching since 2001 when I got my first certification as a life coach. And when we got to um, the the pandemic, I saw that we really have so many people that want to be entrepreneurs, and I have more than 40 years of life experience in being an entrepreneur, and I grew up in an entrepreneur home. And so it was just a natural melding of the my coaching as well as my business experience. I um, I became an entrepreneur because I grew up in that entrepreneurial home. And as I was growing up, I saw my dad do several transitions. When he was first an entrepreneur, he worked so hard. I mean, he opened his shop at 6 a.m., and many times he didn't come home until midnight. And he missed some really important things when I was a child. And I decided that that was not going to be the kind of entrepreneur I wanted to be. I remember one time specifically where we were supposed to go sledding, and he didn't show up when he went in at 6 to open the shop, and he was supposed to be home by 9. 9 came, 10 came, 11 came, noon. Finally at 2 o'clock my mom called and said, "Hey, what's going on? Are we going sledding today?" And he said, "No, I have too much work." And then my mom had to tell me, and my sisters, we're not going. And so as I got older and had my own family, I'd already made the decision from that experience that I was going to be there and be the mom that kept the promises. I was going to be there to um, be the kind of mom I wanted to be. But I also realized I would be an entrepreneur. As I got to be a teenager, my dad learned the secrets to making a business not own him, but him be the owner. And so he was able to be more a part of our family. And he spent much less time in that endeavor. So I took those lessons because I did work for my dad as a teenager, and I actually managed one of his shops. That was one of the first leadership positions I had in business. And I got to learn firsthand before I had my own kids what to do when I had kids. So I when I got married, I always had like these two family businesses that I was running, and I did that while I was raising my 6 kids. And now, since the pandemic, I see that it's a great opportunity to be able to help others be entrepreneurs, and my specialty is helping them be profitable. I increase their profits and help them to spend less time working.
Amazing. Okay, ma'am. Thanks for answer. So my first question from you: can you provide an overview of your coaching approach and philosophy for helping business owners?
Oh, great. My approach is I don't believe can do anything in a group that is significant. So I only do one on one coaching. And because every single business is different, every person, every entrepreneur or business owner is different, and they have different family circumstances, different business circumstances. Their home life is totally different. So I approach it as a very unique situation. We go in and I analyze everything. We analyze how much time you're actually working, because most business owners aren't aware of their own numbers. They don't know how much time they actually spend working. They just know that, it takes up the majority of their life. They don't know how much their profits are. They just know how much money they get to take home at the end of the month. And they don't know how much they're actually spending, that's costing them. And so we do this whole analysis, and then we look at their family situation as well and what their goals are there. And by doing a really in-depth analysis, then I can identify areas where we can increase profits, where we can streamline and put in systems so that they don't have to spend as much time working.
Okay, ma'am, wonderful, and thanks for answer. So my next question: what inspired you to become a coach specializing in profit optimization and time management?
One of the things that I've seen in working with entrepreneurs is that they get happy with their revenue, and they don't necessarily look at what their profits are. And say I had one example where it was a construction company that was making $1.5 million in gross revenues. And then in the next year, they were able to grow that to $2.5 million. And instead of being able to bring home $100,000 in take-home pay like they had anticipated, they actually only got to bring home less than $50,000. And they were like, oh, we are never going to get that big again. And it had to do more with what they were actually doing, or not doing, that cut into their profits, rather than the fact that they got to $2.5 million. We really, I just see this over and over, that if you put in certain systems, then you're able to make more money that you can take home, which is your profit, and not leave it on somebody else's table. And so that's what inspired me to focus on profits, is that it doesn't matter the revenues. What really matters is the profit.
Okay, ma'am, thanks for answer. So my next question: could you share some of your most significant success or case studies where you helped a business owner achieve sustainability, profit growth?
Oh, sure. Um, I work with a lot of different types of businesses, and one of the businesses I'm thinking about was a mother that wanted to quit her corporate job and be able to focus on her passion, which is jewelry. And she uses real stones, and those real stones have stories, and those stories are important to her. But she's been working her business for a year and not making a profit at all. And when we started working together and started analyzing things, we were able to, one, put in a business plan. And most businesses don't have a business plan. 85% of all businesses that fail in the first 5 years have no business plan. Those that make it to a six-figure company, 85% of those businesses have a business plan. So that's really important. We got the business plan in there. And then we did the analysis of what she was actually spending her money on. And instead of having a negative amount go out every month, we were able to turn it around, and she had a $357 increase in her profits in just the first 2 months. And that's the difference with focusing on profits, is that was an amount of money that she got to take home versus what she was spending.
Okay, ma'am, thanks for answer. So my next question, what strategies or methodologies do you typically employ to help business increase their profitability?
It goes back to the analysis, and making sure that the owner knows what their numbers are, in hours in the day that they're using, the numbers in their bank account, what they're paying to other people, their expenses, cost of their goods. Knowing your numbers allows you to control what's happening. So that's the biggest thing that we're going to work with.
Okay, ma'am, thanks for answer. So my next question, how do you assist business owners in reducing their workload while maintaining or improving their business performance?
Well, that's a great question, because um, when you look at what you do every day in your business, there are certain activities that are income producing activities versus activities that are just business oriented. And if you look at what you're doing, you can analyze it and say, okay, these are the 2 or 3 things that I spend my time doing that bring in the income. And most people spend 80% of their time doing things that aren't bringing in income. When you switch that around so that you're spending 80% on the 1 or 2 things, or the 20% of of the things that you have to do that increase your income, you therefore have more concentrated time, and you can do strategic partnerships. You can hire people from outside of your company. That's where, like, Upwork freelancers are great, is because then I can say, hey, here are some places that you can go and have somebody else do what's not your specialty and what's not bringing you in the income, and thus it's freeing up their time, so that they're more concise in their performance, they've increased their profits, and they're letting somebody else shine in their own genius, doing what they otherwise would have been struggling to do.
Okay, ma'am, thanks for answer. So my next question, can you describe a challenging situation you encountered as a coach and how you successfully navigated it?
Um, One of the things that happens when I start coaching with someone is putting that business plan together, because a business plan is really like your roadmap of what you're going to do with your business, what your mission is, what you're hoping to accomplish. And a key part of that is knowing who is your competition, how they are actually marketing, and what the product is that they're selling. And then the challenge is, how do you make yourself stand out? And oftentimes what happens is that you have, in your brain, you decided this plan and you started your business, but where you are lacking in the knowledge is you've chosen the wrong product, or you've chosen an ineffective marketing strategy, or you're not solving a big enough problem. And so when we look at a business, those are the 3 things that I look at first. And if your one company was totally marketing online and their product wasn't selling, but when we took it and put it in a different venue, in a place where they could have a hands-on touch the product, all of a sudden they were able to excuse me, sell their product, and then it made them stand out because of the quality of their product. um, Online they couldn't stand out because all it is a picture.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks for answer. So my next question: what key performance indicators do you focus on when evaluating our business's profitability and efficiency? Efficiency.
Well, I want to, first I go in and I look at what their profit, percentage of profit is, and I want to increase anywhere between 10 to 25% on their profitability, because that's the biggest place that businesses leave money on the table is in their gross margins. So, in knowing what those profitability, their profitability is, it's really easy to follow the key performance indicators on it, and we can do that every single. We can even do that on a daily basis if needed, but at least on a monthly basis, we're going to be watching that profitability. Um, and by allowing a business owner, because business owners think that they got to do this all on their own. And as a coach, I give them the permission to not have to be on their doing it on their own. I'm a cheerleader. I'm actually coaching and telling them what to do and how to do it. It's up to them to instigate the changes and or to implement them. But I give them permission to look at alternatives that allow them to use people like at Upwork or at Fiverr or um, any number of the many agencies that are out there that will free them up. And we're looking at the time that they're spending at their office or doing their income producing activities. And that's another great indicator of what's going on.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks for answer. So my next question: how do you tailor your coaching approach to meet the unique needs and goal of each business owner you work with?
I think that also goes back to the business plan that we start with, because you, sometimes when a business owner starts a business, they just have this grand idea. They've got this dream of what they want to do. And we have to fine tune it so that we know what really is their goal. Because they can go in there and say, hey, I want a 7-figure business and I want to be in these markets, but they haven't thought about why. And so one of the first exercises I do is we do like the 10 levels of why. You say, okay, that's what I want, as I want 7-figure business, and it's going to be in the I want it in, say I want to be like the pioneer woman. But why do you want to do that? And if it is, well, because I want my name known, and it's kind of a legacy. Well, why do you want that? And we'll ask that question until we get down to the real emotion, because your why is your driving force. That's what helps you accomplish what you are doing. That when it gets really tough, when you know why you're doing it, it is like nothing is going to stop you. So I encourage everybody, no matter what you're doing, do that 10 layers of why. Sometimes you only have to do 7, but when you get to that point and you know why you're doing something, then it brings tears to most people. Men, it will bring tears to them. They'll feel it in their fingers, all throughout their body, that is the real why.
Okay, ma'am, thanks for answer. So my next question: what tools or software do you commonly use to analyze and optimize business operations?
I use Excel a lot, and I use um, things like on my Google Calendar. I love Google Calendar because I can schedule things on there, and I schedule them as showing me as free, but they keep me on track. They will send me reminders if I want, but I can look at my calendar and I can say, hey, I'm supposed to be doing this at this time, and I do time blocking a lot. I use other tools on my phone, especially when I'm traveling. I will spend a lot of time on my phone running my own business. And you can use things like Dropbox or OneDrive. There's you have access to all of the Microsoft programs on your phone. I love my iPhone because when I'm doing coaching, I use a lot of those tools that come with Apple in there, and they're also in the cloud. So I use a lot of things in the cloud, and I use reminders. I have a couple programs that I use that are specific to Apple that I purchased. Excuse me. That like I use is called Things 3, and it allows me to set up certain tasks that I need to accomplish every day or every other day or whatever, and it automatically reminds me. I don't have to be constantly entering it. The more you can automate things, the easier it is. One of the things that I also recommend is that as a business owner, you have so many things to keep track of. Take as many things and put them into your calendar or into a reminder type app, so that your mind is free to do the business owner part or the creative part, and not have to be remembering, oh, I got to do this or I got to do that. As soon as a thought comes to you, put it in your phone. Most people have a phone on them 24/7 almost. Because if it's not in your pocket or with you wherever you go, it's sitting on your nightstand.
Amazing. Okay, ma'am, thanks for answer. So my last question. Finally, what advice would you give to business owners who are considering seeking a coach to help them improve profitability and reduce their workload?
There's a lot of different people out there that are doing coaching, and there are a lot of people that put forth, hey, I'm going to make you a 7-figure business or a 6-figure business, and I'm going to do it in 6 months. Be realistic. A business is like a child or a baby. When it's you first start it, it's in its infancy. It's got to go through that period, and you go toddlerhood and childhood and teenager and a young adult, and then you finally get to be an adult. There are things that you can do to speed that up, and that's where a business coach comes in. There is a difference between a coach and a mentor. A mentor walks alongside you and they tell you what their experience is. A coach actually gives you strategies, and they help you have tools that you can take, and down the road you can apply them to anything, not just what you're doing right then. Find somebody that you connect with, that it feels like, oh my heavens, that person gets me. They also choose somebody that is going to have the aptitude and ability to guide you in the direction you want. If you want to be doing um, business stuff, get a business coach. Most business coaches are also former life coaches, and so they have the tools to help you with mindset, because that's another big thing that happens in business with business owners is they oftentimes need a readjustment in their mindset so that they can obtain the goals that they want. Look at people's experience. Like I have more than 40 years of experience in 18 different industries. I've been in automotive, I've been in transportation, I've been in education, agriculture, real estate. I mean, I could just keep listing them. Find somebody that has maybe similar background. Because I've been in so many industries, I've seen that they can be transferable skills between the different industries. And one industry might specialize in one thing, another one might not. But you know, there are certain things that you can do, and life experience is important. Don't don't get a life coach that or a business coach that's only been in business on their own for 2 or 3 years. Get somebody that's actually been out there in the field doing what you want to do.
Okay, ma'am, thank you so much for your valuable time and share us insightful knowledge.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I
Okay,
appreciate it.
okay, ma'am, I invite you my school. When you come in Pakistan, so please visit our school, Rehan School, Karangi campus.
I look forward to it.
Okay, so viewers, I am Hijab Upworkwali and my guest, Ma'am DB. So I hope that you understand our interview and ma'am shares the insightful knowledge. So I hope that you understand. So thank you, ma'am. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.